Do you know, people have been telling me for a long time now that my hose needed an upgrade.
This is going to be one of the more simple videos that I've done. So you're going to need two ends of the same hose. This one is a pretty straightforward garden hose, nothing complicated about it. You're going to need two of these quick release ends. I've gone for a brass set. Now the set that came off of this was an old brittle plastic one. They don't particularly last after a couple of harsh winters and hot summers. So I've gone with a brass setup which should last longer. This goes into the end of the tap. I'll show you in a minute. And this is the spray hose, which I am actually not going to use, because I'm going to use this little fella here from Hozelock. So, rather straightforward. Let's take one of the ends off here, unscrew. You're going to want to put this end on the hose to start with. This then fits down in as far as it will go. And just making sure that that plastic shroud is nice and straight. It's nothing more complicated than merely tightening it up as tight as it will go by hand. You don't want to over tighten it. Don't use power tools because you will risk breaking it. Now that is tight as anything in there. Other end exactly the same. These are black and red. I don't quite know why, but there you go. Maybe one's for the hot and one's for cold, but essentially it's the same hose anyway, so what the hell. Let's get that on there. Again, going nowhere. All right, let's get outside. So here we are outside. We've got a brass tap in here. Now you'll note this doesn't fit on here. There are two thread options on the tap fitting. You'll need to take one out. Now make sure there's a rubber gasket in there, and this should then merely go on there. Again, you don't want to over tighten it, just as tight as it will go by hand, and that is absolutely fine. And then rather helpfully, when you want to clip your hose on, pull down that shroud, and there we go. It's going absolutely nowhere. No leakage. At the other end is exactly the same principle. Got my Hozelock, pull the shroud down, and it's on. Perfect. So there we go, Hozelock's on the end. We've got straightforward trigger, we've got a 50% to 100% flow rate on there, and then 5 different heads. So we've got the typical rainwater spray, that's an intermittent. We've then got straight tap, that one there is a mist, and rainwater. So let's see how we get on.